Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we are doing another deck profile today. What we are doing is Purrely mixed with a little bit of Dark World. Not too much, like mainly just 2 to 4 cards from Dark World, but that's because it's used in this engine. So, anywho, before we get on into the video, hope you guys like the little Purrely sleeves that I have, because they are absolutely adorable. And yeah, before we get too far again still, be sure to drop a subscribe, as well as like the video if you do like what I've been doing so far. But anywho, let's get on into it. First things first, the one of Santa Claus. We do one Santa Claus, so we have a way to tribute our opponent's monsters, just to special summon it, and get rid of, like, any higher, like, threats to our board, per se. Like, for instance, when we need to get rid of an Appaloosa, Santa Claus. If we need to get rid of an Access Code Talker, Santa Claus. If we need to get stuff with really any Omni Negates, usually we're using Santa Claus. And then we run 3 Ghost Bells in the Haunted Mansion. They're pretty much like Ash Blossom, except these, well, they are pretty much like Ash Blossoms. You discard them to negate the activation, adding cards from graveyard to hand, deck, and or extra deck, or special summon a monster from the graveyard, or banish cards from the graveyard. These days, with how a lot of decks are, they're either banishing cards, or they're just going and, like, special summoning from the graveyard. So these will be good to use, especially against those type of decks. And then next, we run the 3 Purrelys. So we definitely run the 3 Purrelys. That's part of the whole core. And they're used to excavate the top 3 cards when they're normal or special summon, so that way you can grab one of the Purrely spells or traps. And then you can use its other effect where you can reveal a Purrely spell or trap, and then XYZ summon into one of the Purrelys, depending on the spell and trap that you use. And then we do 3 Purrelys. They're used to basically go and grab let me double check on this. Anything except a Purrely quick play spell, but you can grab 1 Purrely card from deck to hand. So you can grab almost anything else. You could grab another Purrely per se, but you can't grab one of the quick play spells, which is a lot of the Purrelys. So yeah, it sucks a little bit, but it's still good for when you decide to use the Purrely quick play spell to summon a Purrely, and then use this card to kind of just grab that quick play spell from graveyard and attach it, and XYZ summon. Next we do 3 Snows, because since this deck does a lot of discarding, these effects will happen when they're discarded. If this card is discarded to the graveyard by card effect, if it was discarded from hand to graveyard by opponent's card effect, you can target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard, add 1 Dark World card from your deck to hand, then special summon that target, if any, in defense position. So these will be good to, like, go and grab another Dark World card, which usually, it's usually, oh, why the heck is that on bottom? It's usually grabbing the Grapha and such. I don't know why I don't have these in the deck. I definitely was underprepared. But it's used to grab these guys. So, yeah. And then, of course, we have the Droll and Lockbird. We have that to stop our opponents from adding cards from deck to hand. And then we do Bestial Magnemite and Bestial Druiswarm. The whole reason for that is so that way we can have stuff to banish out of our opponent's graveyard, so we can summon a bit more heavy hitters on the board. Just in case, you know. We do 1 Infinite Imperm, just for a negator. Purrely Heap we run one of, because by the end of the turn, what it does is it's used to XYZ summon into a Purrely monster, but by the end of the next phase, it goes away. So that's why I only run one of. And then 2 My Friend Purrelys. We run them at 2, so that way you can just like activate and then go and get the cards you're needing. The 3 Purrely cards. Shuffle them all up. Your opponent randomly picks one. We do 3 Happy Memories, because the main goal is to go into happiness with these, and then attack, activate effect, grab another happy memory, attach it, attack again, happy memory, so on and so forth. And then if you've already got like another type of quick play Purrely spell like Delicious Memory, then you can just do that over and over and over. And then even activate these and attach them to happiness. So with happiness, with Delicious Memory, the fun thing about that is these can stack. And it'll give your Purrely monster 600 more attack, correct? It gains 300 attack for each material attached to it. And if you attach both of these, it then gains 600. And you can literally get Noir up to, like, say, 4,100 in just one turn. And then we run 2 Sleepy Memories, because since after the ban list, Sleepy Memory got brought down to 2. But the good part about it is once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, you can draw 1 card, with this card being attached as for a material. We run 3 Pretty Memories, because Pretty Memories are good. Like, once per turn, you can send 1 other card you control to the graveyard, then 1 card your opponent controls, and attach it to this card as material. So you can literally go and be like, yeah, I'm gonna attach your cards as material with that. 2 Stray Purrely Streets. In the end phase, for this card, you can go and attach 1 Purrely spell or trap to the Purrely monster. I don't think it has to be specifically quick play. Let's see here. You can target 1 Purrely XYZ monster, attach 1 Purrely. Oh, it has to be a quick play. Sorry about that, everybody. It's been a while since I played with this deck, so yeah. We do 2 Pot of Dualities. The only reason we do 2 is because it does stop our special summoning, so it's best to get the special summoning out first, and then activate Pot of Duality. 1 for 1. 1 for 1, what it does is you send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon level 1 monster from your hand or deck. So say if you have like Santa Claus, but you can't really use it, but you can do 1 for 1. 1 for 1 will get rid of the Santa Claus, and then you'll get that Purrely. Same thing with like almost any other card you get. Ghost Spell, 1 for 1. Droll and Lockbird, 1 for 1. You're just doing the gamble that you probably won't need in next turn. Dark Ruler No More, we do 1 of those. So that way it can stop our opponent from activating effects on our turn. And they won't get hurt in battle phase. So yeah. We do 3 Book of Moons. The Book of Moons are basically good to just flip your opponent's cards face down. So that way they can't like activate any effects. And it'll hopefully keep them from stopping on a lot of things. And then 2 Lightning Storms. The Lightning Storms are if they have way too many monsters and such, and one of them is an Omni Negate. You can waste the Omni Negate by having them do that. Either that, or you could Dark Ruler No More, and then just, boom, Lightning Storm. And they can't really do anything about it. Now, on to the extra deck. We run 1 Happiness. The Happiness, that's basically good for, let's see here. During your main phase, you can detach one material from this card, and if you do, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls until the end of the turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. This card has a level 1 Purrely monster as material. When an attack is declared involving this card that has 5 or more materials, inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. So imagine using this and having Happy Memory and just going about it many times. You can literally do that. So yeah, we run 2 Noirs in case our opponent has something that can get rid of one of the Noirs and we can still hopefully get one out. This card will be unaffected by activated effects when it has 5 or more materials, and you can detach 2 materials and target one card my opponent controls or in their graveyard, place it on the bottom of the deck. This is a quick effect if it has a level 1 Purrely monster as material. So, it is unaffected by activated effects, meaning it's basically going to be a big old tank on the board, especially in defense mode. Or, if you have Delicious Memory, it can go all the way up to 4100 attack, and it's going to be tough to get over. And the sending one card from, like, on the field or graveyard to the bottom of the deck, it is not once per turn. It doesn't say once per turn or anything like that. So you can just do it over and over and over. And then we run 1 E Purrely Noir. I haven't ever really used this, but basically what it does is once per turn you can discard 1 card, then target 1 card your opponent controls, or up to 2 if this has Purrely Sleeping Memory as material. Return that card to the hand. Up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely Quick Play spell, you can attach it to this card as material. So, the quick effect of, like, attaching the quick play spells is on almost all of the E Purrely cards, just to let you all know. But yeah, you can, like, send cards back from field to hand, basically, with this card. And then next we got Beauty. What Beauty does is you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of the turn. So yeah, and it is a quick effect if you have Purrely Pretty Memory as material. So yeah. And then we run 2 Plumps. Plumps, what they do is you can target up to 2 spell and traps in the graveyard and attach them to the card as materials. And then 2 Happiness. E Purrely Happiness. What they do is, at the end of the damage step, if this card battled, you can add 1 Purrely card from deck to hand. Also, if this card has Purrely Pretty Happy Memory as material, you can have the attack of 1 face-up monster on the field. So yeah, use this card, Happy Memory on it, attack, attach another Happy Memory through this effect, attack again, another Happy Memory, etc., etc. And then go into, like, say, Delicious Memory. Downer Magician, that's for basically if you decide to go into another XYZ after you've battled, and then you can just place this XYZ on top. 1 card I am missing from my extra deck, because I am using it in another deck at the moment, is after you would go into Downer Magician, you could usually go into Divine Arsenal Zeus on top, just so you have extra materials. King Gashki Fuko. This card is basically like a good card to not get affected by any of your opponent's card effects. It can only be destroyed by battle, but then you remove 2 materials, and it'll basically just be a wall that they cannot get over no matter what. Lyrisk Assembled Nightingale. This card is used so you can attack your opponent directly and still go into Zeus a bit easier. And then Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. This card is used so if your opponent is playing with a bunch of dark monsters, you can go and grab one of those dark monsters and just keep going with some summons. Either that, or when it gets destroyed, you can go and basically bring out a Purrely. Because Purrely is a dark monster, so yeah. Either that, or bring out Snow, and then just go into Grapha. And then, yeah, one of the other cards that ain't in the extra deck is Divine Arsenal Zeus. What it does is you detach 2 materials and just clear away your opponent, like the entire board. Clear away all monsters and I believe spells. So yeah, and that's what it's mainly used for. For the side deck, it's just 3 Cosmic Cyclones and 1 Dark Ruler, no more. Not really a big side deck because honestly, there's not too much you really could side into the side deck, but I'm sure there's stuff that other people would actually use to side in the side deck. But anywho, that's today's deck profile of Purrely. And if you like Purrelys as much as I do, be sure to definitely like the video and subscribe. Every like will be a pet towards one of these cute little Purrelys. Because you gotta pet the cute little kitty looking things. You gotta pet them. Pet, pet, pet. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye, y'all!
It goes on and on and on.